Mastery in silence. The power of quiet winners. Daniel was a quiet, observant young man who had joined the factory at 19. He wasn't the loudest, nor the fastest, but he watched. Listened. Learned. Over the years, he became a quiet pillar. One of those people whose absence is only noticed when something breaks. His mentor, Mr. Harrow, was an older technician with a weathered face and hands that told the story of decades of labor. He taught Daniel everything, not just about machinery, but about life. His rules were few and simple. Talk less. Do more. Don't chase applause. Let your work speak louder than your voice. And Daniel did just that. He mastered the machines in silence. When others panicked during emergencies, he fixed problems calmly. When coworkers gossiped in the break room, he studied blueprints. No complaints. No demands. Just results. 10 years passed. Mr. Harrow retired with a quiet handshake and a folded flag from the plant director. Daniel stood respectfully at the back, arms crossed, eyes lowered, heart heavy. Then he stepped into his mentor's old shoes, technically, not title-wise. The promotions never came. Others got ahead. Newcomers with polished shoes and louder voices. Men and women who stayed late just to be seen staying late. Daniel continued to do his work, and do it well. But the silence that had once felt noble began to feel like a weight. One day after his shift, Daniel visited Mr. Harrow at his modest home near the edge of town. Mr. Harrow opened the door slowly, eyes lighting up. "Well, you finally came." They sat over coffee in a cluttered kitchen. Daniel looked exhausted, his eyes shadowed not from lack of sleep, but from a worn-out spirit. "I did what you said," Daniel said quietly. "All these years, I kept my head down, mastered everything, never bragged, never stopped learning." "And?" the old man asked. "I'm still where I started," Daniel said. "I train the new guys, fix the hardest breakdowns, but they promote others, people with half my skill." Mr. Harrow took a slow sip, then nodded. "Take a day off." Daniel blinked. "A day off? Just one. Call it in. Don't go tomorrow." Daniel hesitated but finally agreed. The next day, chaos hit the plant. The packaging line jammed. The coolant system overheated. No one could fix the issue Daniel usually solved in 5 minutes. Productivity stalled. Tension rose. When Daniel returned the following morning, the plant manager called him in. "We didn't realize how much we depend on you," the manager admitted. "We need to talk about a new role, Senior Systems Coordinator." Daniel nodded. He didn't smile. He simply said, "Thank you." Months passed. Each time Daniel felt underappreciated, he remembered Mr. Harrow's lesson and took a day off. And each time, he returned to a slightly better position. More responsibility. A bigger desk. A better title. Until one Monday, he arrived at the factory gates and his ID wouldn't scan. Security came. Then hour. Then silence. "Daniel, we need to talk." He was laid off. Just like that. No explanation. No farewell. Just a severance packet and a walk through the gates. Dazed, Daniel drove through town in silence until he found himself parked once again outside Mr. Harrow's house. Mr. Harrow answered the door slowly. He didn't look surprised. "I did what you said," Daniel said bitterly. "Every word." "No," Mr. Harrow said gently. "You followed the first half of the lesson, not the whole." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" The old man stood slowly, walking to a cupboard. He pulled out an old light bulb and set it on the table. "You understood this. No one notices a light that's always on. It's only when it goes out that people realize how much they needed it. That's what I taught you, once." Daniel nodded. "But I never told you the rest." "And you never asked." Mr. Harrow held up the bulb. "If a light flickers too often, people stop trusting it. They replace it." Daniel sat still, the meaning hitting like a falling beam. "You took time off not to rest, but to force their eyes open," the old man said. "And it worked, until it didn't. They saw the pattern. A light that switches off to make a point is not reliable. No matter how skilled, no one trusts what can disappear on a whim." Daniel looked down. "So I'm the broken bulb now." "No," Mr. Harrow said firmly. "You're the man who now understands the full lesson." That night, Daniel didn't sleep. Instead, he stayed up writing everything he knew about the machines, systems, shortcuts, and failures, details no one else had mastered. Pages and pages. He didn't do it for revenge or recognition. He did it because mastery shouldn't disappear into silence. Then he printed it, packaged it, and mailed it to the plant manager with a single note: to help whoever replaces the light. Months later, Daniel started a small consultancy. He taught young technicians, spoke at local trade schools, shared the same principles: humility, skill, silence, but now also balance. And in every classroom or factory floor he stood on, he left behind one thing louder than words: excellence that spoke for itself.